Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here, my WWE Payback review for tonight, Sunday, May the 1st, 2016, for the All-State Arena in Chicago, Illinois. With this pay-per-view being the first under the Shane McMahon world era, with him running one last couple of weeks, with that being in jeopardy with the announcement that was to be made by Shane and Stephanie's dad tonight. It was an interesting pay-per-view, especially coming out of WrestleMania, a so-so WrestleMania. WWE needed something to make up for a lackluster Mania with some questionable things. Well, for the most part, Payback did have some good stuff. Yet one really good match, and I think every match was pretty good. There was no clunk on the corners. I don't think so. The pre-show withstanding, I still think this show was like there was some great moments, some great matches, but there were some moments that almost spoiled the card yet again. The ending of one of the matches, actually two endings. One ending that might have been purposeful, and also a little poke fun and humor, which I hope the guy who was involved in it hopefully was involved in the finish. In one finish that was unscripted and spoiled the opening matchup, as you see by my subtitle. And, of course, one other ending. The ending of the pay-per-view itself. Well, hopefully some good will come out of it. And, spoiler alert, no Balor. Finn Balor not debut tonight. But get that out of the way first. He wants to stay in NXT, makes sense. You know, and also some things were set up for the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. I'll give this a 7, just because there was some good entertaining parts of the show. There was like no bad match on the card, the main card. Besides maybe the first match because of the ending, which was unpurposeful. And in my mind, an accident of the ending of the matchup. So, something like I said, some good things. Hopefully the bad things don't overshadow it. Especially the way the pay-per-view ended. So let's kick off with our pre-show with not one, but two pre-show matches that might have been WWE in the ass for having two pre-show matches. They could at least saved one match for the main card in case something happened, like the first match. But hey, they had two matches in the pre-show. One else surprisingly added, which was Dolph Ziggler against Baron Corbin. It's kind of sad for Baron Corbin's pay-per-view debut in a singles match to be on the pre-show. But for what it was a decent way to open things up. So decent action for these two guys. But for both guys, there were some good spots in there, especially one spot near towards the end of the match when Baron threw Ziggler head first into the post. That was a cool little spot there. Even at one point, Ziggler had a DDT at one point. And there was, like I said, some decent action in this matchup. Baron looked like a badass heel. You know, question whether or not he's too early to go in the main roster. Apollo Crews too early in my mind. That's might be Apollo Crews came on the main roster too early. I think everybody would probably agree with my assessments. So there you go. After what led up to the ending was after Corbin looked extremely tough and strong and big heelish. Almost trying to set up for his big move. He was trying about to, probably especially when, after that move when he literally posted Dolph Ziggler into the ring post. Got back in the ring, acting all cocky. And his cockiness and arrogance caught up to him. As Dolph Ziggler got the roll up and the pin and the win. Surprise win for Dolph Ziggler, getting one over on Baron Corbin. 2.5. The only low ratings of this review is definitely the pre-show matches. 2.5, decent way to open up. Good action for both these guys, especially with Danny Bean. I like both guys. I like Ziggler. And it's a chance to have Ziggler go over with Corbin. But Corbin would still probably look like a badass no matter what. Because when Owens lost his matches to Cena, he still looked like a badass after it. So see what happens with Corbin after this. His first defeat. He'll have some adversity. Because it's his first defeat on the main roster. And at least it's against a legit guy. You know, Dolph Ziggler's a guy that's been popular for years. Even though he's been up and down lately with the pushing. Hey, he's got one over. Next up, United States Championship match. Kalisto defending for the 1,000th time, it felt like, against Ryback. Can this be over here? Hopefully this ended. I'll say this, though. I think probably some people will give me. Better than a Mania match. Better than a Mania match. But that's not saying much, though. They said little bit of lack of chemistry, but there was some good action that was missing from the match at Mania. There was one little spot that Kalisto almost botched when he tried to go corkscrew off the top rope onto Ryback on the outside, but he recovered quickly and still got a bit of it to redeem himself for that move. He doesn't spot as much as his partner Sin Cara does, but hey, when he does, it's noticeable. But Ryback looked decent in this matchup for what it's worth, despite the fans in Chicago who were brutal again to some people, especially one guy, the guy. Ryback, especially with the Goldberg chance. Ryback overcame that and had some big power moves in the matchup, including a shell shock or two, at least a shell shock attempt or two, numerous times in the matchup. Despite Ryback looking good, including one point trying to go for a splash, but that cost him. Despite his arrogance and cockiness, they kind of got up to him like the Corbin match. But Kalisto capitalizing on it. At one point, Corbin was a big mistake that Ryback made, delivering to Salida Del Sol after numerous attempts. Connected it. 1, 2, 3 victory for Kalisto. He gained the U.S. Championship. U.S. Championship has become a laughing stock now. After Cena brought it so much legitimacy last year, the Open Challenge and all that, it's kind of been brought down to lower mid-card at best. The IC Championship is the more important mid-card title, especially the way it was treated during the matches tonight on the main card. Same rating as the, I actually give it 2.6, just because I'll give it an extra point for being better than a Mania match, better action than a Mania, but still, that's not saying much. Now on to our opening of the main card, which will open up with the New Day coming out to have a bird's eye view of the number one contendership finals for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And they had a funny promo to kick things off. Even a Beyonce reference in there, making fun of Becky with the good hair. And there was another reference that was funny. I forgot the reference already. But that was a good reference. There wasn't a Prince reference. It wasn't a Prince reference, but it was a funny reference. And New Day were on these beanbag chairs, and they were being so fun. And the match, of course, being the finals. Vaudevillians against my boys for NXT, Enzo and Cass. And things started pretty well. Pretty innocent enough. You had a New Day kicking it with a bag of chips, or in their case, pizzas on big bags, enjoying the matchup. As these two fine teams from NXT to a favorite tag team to come out of there. We're doing a decent matchup from the beginning. Having some good action there. With Cass gives a big tag, and it felt innocent enough. These two, I was hoping we would give a match. I've seen these two teams wrestle live at NXT events in the past, and I knew these two could deliver good matches. And things, like I said, were going smoothly. Innocent. Until one nasty spot that would unfortunately affect the match. As Simon got to Enzo, we're going for a little toss and turn here. A little struggle there, a little sequence of events. Enzo got whipped really hard against the second rope. Apparently, I think Simon was going for a Irish whip onto the second rope. But Enzo landed pretty hard on the second rope. Twisted his neck, whiplashed his neck, and landed hard against the apron. I saw that spot. I was like, oh my god. Serious spot. And then Enzo was like unconscious for a long time. Stopped the match. Wheel injury. Some people in it, I was looking at it, some people thought it was a work. It's not a work. It's not a work when you get really legitimately knocked out, people. Shocking and sad way to end this. This is their first pay-per-view match. Both these guys were willing to impress, and it looked like they were on the way to do that until this unfortunate, sad incident that later on it was determined that Enzo got a stinger, or in other words, a concussion. Sad. They just got on the main roster, and the injury bug bit again. With Enzo Amore, I hope he's not out for a long amount of time, especially with all the momentum they had going in. They were so over again. They had a great promo going in to the match. And they were like over as usual, but I just hope this doesn't deter their momentum with Enzo being out for some amount of time. I don't know how to make this match because of the no contest. Apparently, it was no contest, but what does this mean for the number one contendership? Does the Vaudevillians Technically, they technically won because of the referee stoppage. But who is a new number one contender? But the rating, it's tough to rate it, but I'm rating it just because of the ending, because it was so sudden. 1.5. And maybe the Dudleys might have come out, but who knows what would have happened. The crew Enzo and Cass. But we shall never know because of that sudden ending. A lot of people were tweeting out a lot of well wishes to Enzo. Hopefully, like I said, now it's a concussion. You know, I'm a big, as people have watched my reviews of WWE programming, especially NXT stuff. And you see from my shirt, I'm a big Enzo and Cass guy. You know, and sad, like I said, they just made the debut, first pay-per-view match, and it had to end that way. I know it was an accident. I hope that the Vaudevillians don't take any punishment and don't get buried like the Ascensions because of one little mistake. You know, I think Samagach did not mean to hurt Enzo at all. You know, it's just a shit happens moment. You know, and I hope for the best for Enzo. Best wishes to you, buddy. It's only concussion at least, so oh well to you. So that sudden ending of that match, the crowd needed to get back up after that shocking end of the match in a real life situation. They even knew they had to like cut things short with their comedy bit and act serious for once. The reaction was genuine too, because it was like I said, a serious moment. I don't care. It didn't matter if this match was purposely going to go second, but I think this match, which is a match of the night, by the way, in my opinion, it added, like, we knew this match was going to be great, which was Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn. Going in, we knew this match was going to be great because it feuded NXT days, a lot of NXT rep, a lot of NXT brethren. I think every match, for the most part, had an NXT guy in the match on the main card tonight. So, but at the Enzo and Cass, you know, it added more emotional oomph because these guys like, hey, you guys can need to make up and get the crowd back on track after such a shocking ending and a sad way to end that great tag team title final match. And these guys delivered. These guys put on the match we were hoping they were going to do. And kind of gave a conclusion finish for the feud. But I don't think the feud's over yet, as we would see later on. But it was the ending we needed. Especially after their matches at NXT ended inconclusively. Especially the last title match, last man, the takeover, when Joe debuted, when Zayn got injured. There's a kind of conclusive finish this match did. And it was an awesome match. Great back and forth action, great nasty spots, with Owens looking like a badass like usual, and Sami looking awesome. There's some great spots, some great action. Big fall splash from Kevin Owens. And this match was just, and both guys delivered both the big moves twice. 2 boom thunder bombs from Zayn and 2 cannonball splashes in the corner by Owens. And there was some great exchanges back and forth. Some great action. Terrific moves. And the crowd was into it. You know, they need that match, like I said, of all matches to go on after Enzo and Cass's ending. This is the match to put on to get the crowd back on track and get this pay-per-view going again after that sudden ending. And that was the right move. Like I said, it didn't matter if this was purposely the second match on script or they moved it up to make up for it. It didn't matter what kind of decision it was. It was the right decision. It was the right decision to put these guys on after that. And there's some big moves, some big nasty spots. Sami was going with some big moves, especially they were on the outside at one point in the matchup. Sami was going for his big move after they booted on the bomb, going for a haluva kick. But Owens came in with a nasty super kick, setting up and connecting with, after numerous attempts, the pop-up powerbomb and a 1, 2, 3 victory for Kevin Owens. But he wasn't done yet. Even after the conclusive victory over Sami, he still powerbombed him again. And he kind of forced Byron Saxon to come in to give an interview. And Owens looked like a fucking badass doing this, man. It was so funny doing this. It was also funny as he was on commentary for the next match. He's like, well, since I'm done with Sami finally beat him in the ring cleanly, I'm going to focus on the title I never really lost. And I haven't got a proper rematch for yet. The Intercontinental Championship. And that match will be next. Before I do 4.0 for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think the feud's not over. Especially the way their feud will be intersped into the IC Championship match between the Miz and Cesaro. With the fans really on the side. A lot of Cesaro such signs. And Kevin Owens on commentary. He's as good as New Day with commentary. Oh my god, Owens commentary almost stole from the match. Because the match itself was good though. I'm glad Matt East didn't get involved. I think a lot of people, including myself, were thinking that Matt East was going to get involved in the ending of the match. She did get involved a little bit, but not much. She did hold Cesaro's foot at one point when setting up a move on Miz. But that was the only involvement. At least the involvement came from wrestlers. As Owens was killing it on commentary and smashing everybody and being fun, while Cesaro was looking good against Miz. I keep saying it. Is he being Swiss Superman? You think of the Swiss Superman, but he's trying to be the Swiss James Bond at the same time. That James Bond I still like that entrance though, but it's like identity crisis. But no matter what, the fans love him, and I do too. Like everybody else does. Come on, he's a big, powerful guy. He looked great in this matchup. Uppercut Train City after Miz came over, taking advantage from the slight mini interference from Miz. Taking advantage of it for a little bit. Like I said, Cesaro came back with some big moves. Despite trying to come back alive with the Skull Crushing finale, Cesaro still kicked out and then eventually went for the swing. Swing at one point. But then as Owens was commentating, that's just when the feud between Owens and Zayn went into spat as Zayn came out of nowhere and took him over to the announce table and brought on the outside was his own mission still going on. And they'll be involved in the finish. I'm glad Batiste wasn't involved in the finish. But this finish makes, and it sets up something. As Cesaro was putting Miz in a submission hold, the referee was distracted with the Zayn and Owens fight. Cesaro was making Miz tap, but referee didn't see it. So then Cesaro pushed Owens and Zayn off the apron. Miz would capitalize on that momentary distraction from the 1-2-3 victory after a roll-up with the tights as Miz would retain the IC Championship. But then Cesaro would beat him up from behind, delivering the equalizer. But then Owens and Zayn would come back in. Owens would powerbomb Zayn again. And Owens powerbomb Miz. But Miz got pulled down by Batiste before. And Owens grabbed the IC Championship belt that Miz left and had over his head. We could have ourselves a fatal four-way match. Which could lead to a lot of things. One, continue Owens and Zayn and have them feud for the IC Championship again. And adding Cesaro and Miz would add more influence and more interest. And also it'll add a little bit more depth to the little bit of a storyline that we're working with Shane and Kevin Owens with a conspiracy theory. Owens never got his Power 101 rematch yet. He lost a number contendership match against Cesaro, which got the match against Miz in the first place. And if Owens gets slushed in the Fatal 4-Way with Cesaro and Miz and Sami Zayn especially, he's like, conspiracy theory against me, I need a one-on-one rematch. He's looking so good right now. And it's like Owens is a freaking badass. But the match, 3.0, it was a decent matchup though. Kind of overshadowed by the Owens and Zayn feud being intersped in this matchup, especially with Owens on the commentary and Zayn's involvement as well. Now, on to our next matchup. Probably the second best matchup of the night. If Zayn and Owens was the best match of the night, this probably kind of close to second or third. And it was Chris Jericho against Dean Ambrose. This was a very physical, fun match between these two guys. Heel Jericho, especially playing the heel in Chicago, where he debuted back in 1999. And they were partying like it was 1999 tonight. As they were chanting right through Jay, despite the heel. People cheering for him, and of course, people cheering for Ambrose. And the feud's been out pretty well with the Ambrose Asylum replacing the Jericho highlight wheel. And you just got delivered a physical matchup. As Ambrose came alive early with big moves, even going for dirty deeds early, and doing the close out a couple times. But the Jericho being his heelish way, and a fun heel at that, worked awesome as a heel again tonight. There's some big nasty moves in the corner. They brought on the outside a bit. Numerous times on the walls of Jericho, including getting it at one point. They brought on the outside. Big nasty headbutts, big moves. Both guys were going for the big finishers at numerous times, including Jericho going for the walls of Jericho. But there's one moment when Jericho got countered out of it by Ambrose with a nice counter out of that move. Out of the walls of Jericho. And both guys, like I said, all the big spots with the lion salt from Jericho, Corbin a number of times. It was just a fight between these two guys. And I was like, who's going to win this one? And I was hoping AMBROSE would win because he needed a big win after losing another big match. He could not afford to lose another big time match, especially to lose it last night. And WrestleMania after the match kind of underwhelmed. But this match kind of made up for it. So good action, especially AMBROSE getting the victory after Jericho's going for a big move and trying to block out of the Dirty Deeds. AMBROSE got some big moves, big shots in, nailing the Dirty Deeds and the 1-2-3 victory for Dean Ambrose. He finally wins a big match. Yay! Finally! He wins a big time match on a big time, well, small time pay-per-view. It was good to see Ambrose finally win. It gets momentum on his side because the people love him. And they would rather see him getting pushed heavily instead of Reigns. Reigns! You know, Bowman Reigns. So, 3.4. Fun match. Very physical. Great fight between these two guys. And the white guy won. Even though Jericho would have won, it would have helped him too. But people were like, oh, he buried him. But get the story. Jericho beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania. And guess what? AJ went on to main event Payback tonight for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. So if we would have beat Ambrose tonight, it would be like, hey, Ambrose, I pinned you, but you're going to go on to bigger and better things like I did to AJ. AJ got a title shot because of me. I beat him. The next night, he got number one contendership. So there you go. Speaking of matches that got number one contendership, of course, a couple weeks back, Natalya and Charlotte faced up on Raw for the Women's Championship in a decent match. Despite Ric Flair's involvement, kind of spoiling the match with their blocking referee from seeing Charlotte tapping out to the sharpshooter, causing the rematch to happen tonight. Natalya and Charlotte for the Women's Championship, being the first two women to fight for the Women's title, Divas title, and the NXT title. And Brett was at ringside too. Despite the fans trolling early with "We Want Sasha" chants, they chanted for the people that were in the ring after performing, and this was a really good match. The good news and bad news, I'll get to that. Before I get to that, great physical match with these two women, with Natalya's leg being a big target for Charlotte in the middle of the match, especially trying to soften it up for the figure eight, which he did get on at one point in the matchup till Natalya reversed it. It was very physical, very long match. So, great women's matchup. Maybe not as good as the match at Mania, the Fatal 4-Way match, the triple threat, should I say, with Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky. It's sad they only had one women's match tonight. They could have filled in with Becky and Emma. They're not pushing that feud enough. And, of course, no Sasha. They should have had more than one women's match. You know, give those two something to do while Natalya's feud with Charlotte continued. And I think it will continue, especially after the ending of this match, which I'll get to right now. The good news and bad news. The good news is Brett, nor more importantly, Ric Flair got involved in the finish. Yay! They get involved! They steal the spotlight from their two female representatives that are brethren, that are family. And also Brett's first major public appearance since his prostate cancer battle. So it's great to see them there. And also not getting involved in the finish. So yeah, especially with Flair not getting involved. Yes. The bad news, we had ourselves an screwy ending. One that kind of parodied another screwy ending. The original screwy ending. Natalya is being shut up by Charlotte in the sharpshooter. So Charlotte locked it off with insult to injury. And then, right out of the Montreal Screwjob playbook, Charles Robinson rung the bell. And Charlotte won with Natalya not even tapping out. Now, there's some things to know here. For those who follow WCW history, Charles Robinson at one point was Little Niche, the referee, the head-appointed biased referee for Ric Flair, who would always be biased towards Ric Flair and screw other people in matches against Flair. That all started back in Uncensored 99 in the stupid First Blood match of him and Hogan. The birth of that whole storyline. So it made sense of all referees that screwed Natalya be Charles Robinson because of the previous history with him in the Flair family. I hope that Brett knew about this. I hope they didn't purposely do this to screw Brett and then inform him of it to make him really mad like it was during the real Montreal Screwjob, the Chicago Screwjob tonight. But I hope that Brett had some involvement and had some knowledge of the ending and kind of proved that, have it be a sense of humor. At least have a sense of humor about it. It's been so long. It's almost 20 freaking years now that incident happened. Hopefully Brett has a sense of humor to have it be a parody, especially with the end of the match being a little payoff with him and Natalya both putting Flair and Charlotte in the sharpshooter. Double stereo sharpshooters. And it'll continue Natalya's feud, because I did read on some dirt sheets that Natalya and Charlotte's feud was going to continue for a month or two. Because in my mind, as much as I like Natalya, and seeing her getting a push is awesome, after being let her get into the background through this whole women's revolution thing, at least get her a piece of the pie too. I still think the person that should beat Charlotte is Sasha at SummerSlam. That's what they're hoping for. Sasha's not being used that much right now, but hopefully they'll make up for that at SummerSlam if they feud. 3.4. I'm giving 3.5. Deduct a few points for the screwy ending, but hey, it's a screwy ending with a purpose. But I was like, what? They really went there. They really went with the parody of the Montreal Screwjob. They want attitudinal material. Here it is for you. Kind of started the Attitude Era was the Montreal Screwjob that kind of unleashed the Mr. McMahon character that we all know and love, and also love to hate. Sorry, I've been battling allergies and sinus stuff. I've been kind of sick. If you noticed my previous videos, I was kind of fighting ill will, but I'm starting to feel better, but I'm still getting some stuffiness, so bear with me here. So, at least we didn't have a Flair ending. I'm glad we didn't have a Flair getting involved ending like this last couple matches with Charlotte. But we still had a screwy ending with a purpose, even though it was, like I said, a real parody and kind of a wink to the Montreal Screwjob. And I hope that Brett had some knowledge of the ending and didn't get bitch slapped like he did that real night in Montreal in 97. Hopefully he was involved and had a sense of humor about it. He had to. He just battled against like, hey, you need to have a sense of humor about it. Bygones be bygones. That's why he came back to the company in the first place in 2010. And speaking of that Mr. McMahon character that was birthed that night, we lead on the show with our next segment, the announcement from Vince McMahon concerning who was going to win Monday Night Raw, Shane or Stephanie. They both came out with, the fans were kind of trolling this, chanting CM Punk. I say to that, get over it. I'm a Punk guy like anybody else. I was a huge Punk guy before the pipe bomb. I was already a fan of his. During his fan society, I was a fan before everybody jumped on the bandwagon. After the pipe bomb had wound, I was a fan before that. Became an even bigger fan because of that. But get over it, people. It's been 2 years. He ain't coming back. He's still committed to UFC despite his injuries, delaying his debut. At least he ain't holding out like Conor McGregor. Anyway, so we have Vince coming out trolling with the fans trolling with CM Punk chants, and Stephanie getting booed out the building like somebody else would in just a little bit. And Shane came out to huge pop. Both had counterpoints to why they should win Raw. Shane winning Raw. I don't care if it's logic with Shane losing at Hell in a Cell and losing control of Raw, despite he still got the one anyway. Despite that, question logic or not, Raw's been good with him winning it. Despite the injury bug biting again like tonight with involving Enzo, but hey. Accidents happen. So as these two siblings were fighting out who should win Raw, blah, 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 blah. Vince is like, well, you both have good points. Guess what? You're both winning Raw. Some would say it's a cop-out. Others would say, including myself, a setup for the brand split. It's been rumored for a while since Shane's return about the return of the brand extension of Raw and SmackDown. And that's what could possibly happen. With Shane and Stephanie both having confusing things. But hey, we have this scenario before. We've had a scenario of good cop, bad cop. Austin and Eric Bischoff when they would go GMs of Raw back in 2003. So we have that scenario again. Shane's the good cop. And Stephanie's the bad cop. And they're going to try to coexist for the common good. And they kind of did. show that kind of coexisting doing our main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. AJ Styles challenging Roman Reigns, who got his ass booed out the building, as I expected. The match itself, shenanigans that would follow. Withstanding, there's a decent main event. Not like AJ carried the match, in my mind. AJ made the match. Because Roman, it's tough to have a good match with Roman Reigns. It's tough. Some people can. Some people can't. But AJ tried his best to make the best out of it. And guess what? He kind of did. He looked tremendous in the matchup. He looked tremendous. There's some great spots in this matchup. And he, like I said, was the wrestler in the matchup, especially the fans trolling Reigns. So many chants during this one. It's going to be tough to follow. Yet, of course, the obvious, "Whoa, man, sucks" chant. And even the new dead clapping style, "Whoa, man, sucks." And you can wrestle. It's like we got transported back to WrestleMania 22. Or, in more modern times, CM Punk against John Cena at Money in the Bank, when the fans were booing the hell out of the babyface and cheering the hell out of the other guy. In this case, being AJ Styles. So despite Reigns trying to come with some big moves and still chanting, "You still suck," there were some spots I'll give him credit for, like the up in the air, Superman punch in mid-air as you counter the AJ flying forearm. But then here's the setup that would unite Shane and Stephanie's unity. One of the best spots in the match was when AJ Styles came up from the top rope, springboard the top rope, as Reigns was on the outside. They brought on the outside a little bit. AJ got back in with a springboard. Springboard flying forearm to Roman Reigns, splashing onto the announce table. Not the Spanish one, the regular one. So if Reigns still woozy after that, AJ was trying to drag his ass back in the ring. But unfortunately, he couldn't get him in time, as AJ won by countout. I was like, come on, guys. This is not the way to end the pay-per-view, with Reigns winning by countout. And then looking at the clock, I was like, yeah, 20 minutes left, guys. You know, you have feeling time, especially after Enzo's injury. But then Shane came out. It made it a no countout match. And then I saw immediately, because I have instinct. I've watched wrestling for so long that I get instinct sometimes. And so after Shane came out, I was like, uh-oh, I know what this is headed towards. I know where this is going. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. To show the unity between Shane and Stephanie with another screwy ending with a purpose. So after AJ and Roman got back in the ring after the restart match, the ball was on. Roman Reigns made some big moves, including at one point, there was one spot where AJ did like a nasty Pele kick. That was cool, the nasty kick he did. It looked like insecure, but it was like kind of a big Pele kick. He did the real Pele later on. But then Reigns, after AJ got on the top rope, he went on the top rope and got caught with a big punch from Reigns that was kind of below the belt. Kind of a low blow. Ring, DQ. But then Stephanie came out. I was like, do it. Do it. After Shane came out to make the match no count out, I was like, they're going to have a DQ here. 2-1, set up Stephanie coming out to make it a no DQ match, kind of one-upping her brother. It shows some unity about her changing the match too. And 2, also set up the involvement of the Bullet Club. I thought they got like a referee knocked out, but with Stephanie saying no DQ after that finish, squealing with a purpose. Here comes the Bullet Club midway towards the, someone said like the third fall. It's like the best turn of 3 falls, but AJ winning the first 2 falls. Should have won off the bat because he won by DQ and won by countout. At least it went for AJ. At least made some fans happy, especially the real at the end of the matchup. So after the Stephanie involvement, they brought on the outside again, where there be no DQ. They brought on the outside, fought through the barricade. But then here comes the spot, like I said, when Styles was going for a flying forearm, the phenomenal forearm. Mid-air got caught with a Superman punch by Roman Reigns. And then he got back up for another Superman punch to be nailed to him by Reigns. He was going for the spear. But then, right on cue, here comes Gallows and Anderson, double teaming on Reigns. Delivering the magic killer, laying him out, so AJ can go in for the kill. He didn't realize it. He was still kind of losing. The 2 Superman punches got back in. delivered a big 450 splash. They got counted. Then the Usos got involved too, as they brawled with Reigns and Anderson, with Gallows and Anderson. AJ would do a big splash on all of them, and then AJ would hide behind a barricade. Well, Reigns would go for a big splash move over the top rope as well, laying out not just the team of Gallows and Anderson, but also his cousins. But AJ would come for the barricade, come with a big move, including the phenomenal forearm. They calls it back in, even going at one point, teasing the Styles Clash. But then Superman punch for Reigns, and little Irish whip action, spear from Reigns. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns retains the WWE Whatever Championship tonight. The reaction from the fans, kind of like what would have happened if Cena would have won at Money in the Bank and not CM Punk. They would have shat all over it if Cena won at Money in the Bank in 2011 instead of Punk. And that's the reaction tonight. Reigns got booed out of the building yet again. But there was still some questions left to be answered. AJ never really confronted Gallows and Anderson for getting involved. He was still kind of woozy after their involvement. So he never really confronted them. It never really showed solidarity with them. Not really showing that he's really aligned with them yet. Leaving us being teased for the possible Bullet Club reunion. You know, they still have each other's back, but when it comes to solidarity and AJ acknowledging it, still yet to be unseen. 3.0 for this matchup. Not bad of a match. AJ, like I said, carried the match in my mind. Like I said, there was a good match tonight. I think everyone would agree. There's a good match tonight. There was no really bad match on the main card besides the first match because it ending. But there was still some questionable decisions, especially with Reigns winning again. But there's some still things to build up. You know, a lot of seeds being planted for future feuds for the next pay-per-view. Charlotte and Natalya continue after that. Well, the old school job finish with the Chicago school job finish. Zayn and Owens continuing despite the awesome match and also being intertwined with the IC title feud with Cesaro and Miz. See a fatal 4-way. And AJ and Reigns will also continue, especially after the show, with the little bit of forced cooperation from Stephanie and Shane now having to force to call one wall. They both kind of came up with the main event for Extreme Rules in New York, New Jersey in 3 weeks. Reigns and AJ, 2, for the WWE Whatever Championship in an Extreme Rules match. Maybe we'll see Balor in that one, but hey, even if we don't, I expect Bullet Club to be involved in that match. And a lot of weapons uses. And a little bit more interest in the match. Because the match itself, you know, being a regular match, was still decent. The action was good. I think adding weapons in will add more excitement to it. Especially since AJ doesn't need to do all the carry. You don't have to literally carry Reigns on his back and put a good match with him. He has weapons to help out too. And Reigns can use those weapons too. So we'll see what happens here. Decent pay-per-view, 7.0. A little better than Mania. At least they redeemed a little bit for Mania. Still some questions to be answered. But I'll say this. No, Reigns did not bury AJ Styles tonight. He did not pull a Super Cena and bury AJ. At least AJ got some wins. You know, he won by DQ and countout at least. So he got those endings. At least he won. Not the title, but at least he won some falls. Kind of cop-outs, but still. He didn't get buried tonight. This new era of Shane may not be bringing immediate changes, especially with some guys losing tonight, but the changes that will possibly happen from this will be beneficial to WWE, especially when they finally get the title off Reigns. And then it should have healed tonight. You know, that's another thing. Shocking things. You know, WWE has a chance to do something shocking, they sometimes fail. Besides with Shane. That's the only thing they got right. Bringing Shane in to shake things up. But when they have a chance to shock people like bring Balor in, they fail. Or have Reigns turn heel, they fail. That's another big question. Reigns is still not heel. They're still trying stubbornly to push him as a face. We're not fucking buying it. But we'll see what happens if you head towards the rematch Extreme Rules. Still some good action, questionable things, but hey, at least there was some redemptions, at least some redeeming qualities that is better than WrestleMania at some point. So good action that was a little bit better than Mania. So there you go. That is it, my review. Thank you so much for watching it. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review. Thumbs down. See you all later, everybody.